Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Coffee Break Podcast. I'm your host, Emily Lung. Hello. Welcome back. I have a very raspy voice yet again. I cannot just play catch up. It's just constant. I am always talking loud at work. I wouldn't say I'm yelling or screaming. I just talk super loud. And now that I'm coaching cheerleading again, I just can't play catch up and keep my voice right now. I don't know what it is. The days I'm like, oh, am I kind of getting my voice back? And then I'm like, oh, psych, you're not. So that's why I'm really, really raspy today. And there's also I don't even know. Today, Austin's also under a heat advisory. I think our low is 115 for the heat advisory portion. I don't know. It's crazy times right now, guys. It's crazy. Anyways, yeah, I just lost all my subscribers. It's fine. Wow, today's coffee of the day is Dunkin' Donuts cold brew with oat milk and liquid stevia. Made from the comfort of my own home. So, yes, that's today's coffee of the day. But yeah, how are you guys? How is life? What's going on? I want to know. For me, life has been a little bit crazy. So I do want to touch base on that for a second and talk about everything going on in the world. But last week's episode, I ended up not releasing because I felt like if I didn't talk about the matter and things going on in the world, people are going to attack me. And I tried to talk about it. I just couldn't get my thoughts into words, and I couldn't word things the right way and say things the right way. And I kept re-recording and I kept hearing myself back, and I'm just like, this doesn't make sense. I sound so rambly, and I couldn't do it. So I skipped last week yet again because of what was going on in the world. And so I didn't know how to talk about it. So I'm going to try to talk about it now, and I hope it sounds a lot better than I did last time. So for starters, I just want to talk about the whole Black Lives Matters movement and, voice my opinions and my feelings towards everything going on in the world with that. And honestly, the biggest thing I can say is educate yourself. Listen and learn. I am not Black, so I do not know what it's like to live in your shoes. I don't, and I'll never understand. But I can learn as much as I can, and I can listen and educate myself on the matter. So for those of you that don't know, I'm very, very mixed. I am German, Mexican, and Chinese. Yeah, I know. I say that all the time. People are like, wait, what? I know. But a lot of people look at me and they're like, oh, Mexican, And it's just because I'm tan, I'm brown, and it happens. But if you see my mom, hey, mom, you're a total white girl, And so I look a lot like my dad. And so people don't really know what I am and who I am. And so when I do talk on this matter, it's so crazy, all the people coming out of the woodworks talking about racism and just being so open and honest about their experiences, whether they are Black or not. Hispanics get racism all the time. I've lived through it myself. Just a quick little backstory about my experience. My first car accident ever, I was freshly 16, maybe. No, that's a lie. I was 17, but whatever. Regardless, I, hit this guy, an older white guy, and I'm traumatized. It's my first car accident, and I go up, like I'm supposed to do, and make sure he's okay. We're both okay. It was a very minor accident, and he basically asked for my insurance, which I'm like, okay, I'll go get it. He's like, I know people like you don't have insurance. And I was like, what is that even supposed to mean? What the heck? Mind you, it's 7:30 in the morning, and I was on my way to college. No, I wasn't. Yes, I was. And so it was my first semester of college. And so I was on my way to Texas State. And so I call my mom. I'm frantic, crying. And I'm like, Mom, whatever, help me. So as soon as my mom gets there, who is white, this man was so nice to me. Mind you, the whole time before my mom got there, he's yelling at me I don't have insurance. Basically, I'm illegal and there's no way, he's going to call the police because I don't have any documentation. Mind you, I'm showing him documentation. He was so extremely rude. So for me, that was the first time I truly experienced it, because as soon as my mom showed up, he was so nice to my mom. And he literally said, people like you don't have insurance. And so that is the bare minimum of what Black lives are going through. I just feel like I wanted to show my story, not to belittle them at all, but just to know that like not everyone, let me rephrase, people of all races have lived through it. White people are called white trash and all this stuff, but it literally doesn't even scratch the surface of what the Black American community goes through. And oh my gosh, like learning and watching and just educating myself, I've learned that. And I am not gonna lie, I did not realize. You think like I'm telling you right now, because I thought I knew. And the more I watch and the more I learn, like the more my eyes are really open to the situation. So I just want to make that clear. Like all of us that have experienced it, it is literally the surface of what Black America experiences, from what I've learned in my experiences of educating myself. So just want to get through that, and just know that there are ways of educating yourself. I have been all over social media, just reading people's stories, YouTube. Right now on my watch list for Netflix, I think it's called The 13th Amendment or 13th or something. A lot of people have been posting it. I'll actually post about it on my Instagram, so you have a little swipe up or something for it. But everyone's been talking about how it really, really covers it in, a large sense. So that's a good option for you if it's something, you're wanting to educate yourself on. As for the rioting and the looting, I got roasted, ripped apart on Facebook because I posted how they burnt down the historical city hall in Nashville. And yes, I don't live in Nashville. I don't even live close to Tennessee. I live in Austin, Texas. But the rioting and the looting and the destroying our communities, like I still stand for what I believe in. But I had to educate myself that the looters are not the protesters. And a lot of people are putting two and two together, and it's making the protesters look bad. Are the protests violent? Yes, to a sense, depending what's happening. And every protest has been different. There's been really violent protesting in Austin, but there's also been very peaceful and awesome protesting, marching through the town. And you have to educate yourself and understand the differences in knowing that these looters and these rioters are not the protesters. And again, I've never lived in their shoes, so I don't know what it's like to feel like you have nothing and to act in that way. And so I'm not saying like they shouldn't do that, but you don't know what it feels like until you're them. So everyone has a different opinion on it. I'm going to leave mine at that. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I've vocalized a lot of my opinions on there, and I'm going to leave it like that. I don't want to take too much of this episode to talk about that, but I did want to, use my voice and tell you my personal stories and feelings. And if you're trying to educate yourself, I will leave some links down below in the description box that I feel are educational or the proper way, petitions or anything like that I've used to educate myself. So anyways, we're going to move forward. And yeah, I hope that didn't come off too rambly or jumbled in a sense, but I've tried to record this so many times. I'm not even joking. So many times. I don't even know how to get my feelings out on paper or anything. So yes, Black Lives Matter. And I hope you're doing your part to vocalize and educate, learn, and listen. Join over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout to get their message out to the world. Your voice matters. By following the link in the show notes, you can start your own podcast today with Buzzsprout. So on a lighter note, I'm how do you pick up after such a serious conversation? But it had to be said, and I had to get my feelings out as best as I could. But moving back into my little fitness life update, I have been back on track. And so today I want to talk about when your life kind of goes through a whirlwind and getting back into the swing of things and getting back on your feet with scheduling and planning. And I feel like I'm always talking about planning and planners and this and that, but just jumping back, making the jump back and getting back on your damn feet. So I've been working like basically like 10 to 12 hour days, Monday through Thursday. And then I like have some sprinkled hours through the weekend that I just work from home or from my computer. And so going from working mainly at home to jumping like deep into these long days, like my like workout schedule was like through a loop. My diet got really, really bad because before that I was like on top of it, like meal prepping and like making my coffees at home and exercising like at least 4 times a week. And it just, my life seemed like I had a routine and it was flowing. And then my schedule changed and cheerleading took over my life and I lost it and I was eating Taco Bell way more than I should. And yeah, that was my life, Taco Bell. And so for me, like getting back on it was just so difficult. And honestly, the reason I like jumped back this week so much stronger is because of Trey. Trey's my boyfriend, and he just like went cold turkey, jumped into this like serious like whole food veggie like just diet, you know, for lack of a better term, and just changed his eating habits and started working out, you know, at least 30 minutes every day, even if it was just like a long walk or a jog. And it inspired me because he was dropping weight and like was killing it. And I was like, gosh, I'm over here eating Taco Bell and you're like having like chicken and veggies. Like, what the heck? Oh my gosh. So thanks to him meal prepping, I am now prepping with him. And so we're eating the same things. But how I was able to manage like the comeback is not dwelling on all the Taco Bell and Chick-fil-A that I ate, because I think that's the biggest thing when you're trying to make a comeback is beating yourself down. It's okay if you have a cheat meal. It's okay if you go out with your friends. This past weekend on Friday, I went out to the Oasis here in Austin, like on Lake Travis with some friends. So much fun. But like I clearly like drank and I had sweet potato fries and I like had fajitas and I just kind of like splurged. And then Saturday, it's kind of the same thing. Like Trey and I went out to Green, Texas and sat on the river and ate. And, you know, I had a grilled chicken sandwich. I had better options, but I was still like indulging in like the onion rings and like the alcohol and wasn't being like super great about it. And so I felt it. I felt it Sunday and I was like, ooh, I've been eating like crap. So it's okay to have those realizations. It's okay to go through life that way, and life is always going to be a roller coaster. And so I think the biggest thing I want people to take away is those ups and downs are so normal. You're going to be killing it, and you're going to drop off. You might have a bad week. You might have a bad day. You might just have a bad meal. Do not dwell on it. Just pick it up and fix it and do better. And so it sounds so much easier than said, because that realization on Sunday when I was like, okay, like I had so much Taco Bell this week. We indulged all weekend with our friends. What the actual heck? I feel like crap. I hate myself. Like, oh my God, I'm so fat. Like you go through that feeling. Like you go through that. It's so normal. And so I had to like take a step back and just be like, Emily, this is life. Did you have fun? Yes. Did you enjoy those meals? Yeah. And that's okay. So pick it up. You're a good girl. Work out Monday and kill it. Actually, backtrack. I ended up working out Sunday evening, which is like not me. Sundays are my chill days. I stay in my PJs all day. I do my laundry. We cook at home. We go grocery shopping. Like, I don't do anything on Sundays. But I had this realization where I was like, honestly, I would probably feel better if I worked out. I should probably work out. But let me tell you, I did not want to work out. I didn't want to. But I was like, you know what? Even if it's like a crappy workout, I should just go. And so I put my shoes on and I was like, hey, Trey, I'm going to Gold's. I'll be back. See ya when I see ya. And he was like, okay. So I went to Gold's. And it was like an hour and a half before closing. And so I went and I really just wanted a deep stretch. I just wanted my body to feel good. So I went to the stretching area. I stretched for like 20 minutes, just like deep, deep stretching, which I don't ever freaking do, and I need to. And then I did a little bit of shoulders. I did like 3 different shoulder workouts, and the Gold's I go to has this beautiful outdoor area. And I was like, wow, I'm going to go outside and enjoy the sunshine. I did some handstands against the wall. I did some handstands off of the wall. I did some headstands. And I just worked on my handstands and being inverted, which I don't ever really do. And I'm like sweating because my shoulder's a little tight now from my little mini shoulder pump. And it was so nice. I walked around the turf. I did some more handstands. And it was so nice. And I got a pretty good workout doing just that. And about 30 minutes to close, I went and stretched one more time, just like my upper body and my shoulders. They're really tight from handstands. And then I went home and I felt so freaking good. And like I showered and I was like, yes, tomorrow's the day I get my life in track. And so it just felt really good to do that. And so Monday, I woke up. I made a healthy breakfast. I made an egg white scramble with like spinach and sausage, like breakfast sausage and potatoes, and it was so yummy. And then I like packed my lunch because we had meal prepped, so I ate super healthy yesterday. And then I'm gonna say it, Mother Nature tested me, and she paid me a visit this week, Monday, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna lose my mind. But it was okay because although I felt bloated and I felt like crap, I just made the freaking best of it because I was like, I have this healthy food. I'm going to be so good. I'm going to make sure I hydrate a lot. I had my hydro jug with me, which you can use my code EmilyL for 10% off. But it just made me feel so much better putting good things in my body again. And then it was kind of like that realization, like, wow, this is why I do that. Because when I do that, I feel great about myself inside and out, regardless of the situation. And so, had I been eating crap and been on my period, wow, I would really hate myself. But even though I'm on my period, I'm eating great, I'm feeling better inside. So it's really not tearing me down as much as it normally does. My lady friends will understand that. And so I woke up today, Tuesday, and I was like, man, I've been freaking killing it. And I just feel so good. Like this morning I woke up again. I made an egg white scramble. I made my coffee. I chugged some water. I had some lemon water. I took Max on a long walk this morning at 8 a.m. all around our apartment complex, the dog park. It was nice since I woke up early. It was cool outside. And so I just feel like I'm rambling about this topic, but the biggest thing, like I said, that I want you to take away is that it is okay to go downhill, to go back up it, because guess what? We're going to do that because you know what? I'm on my high horse right now and I'm freaking killing it, and I'm about to go murder my legs in the gym, and we're going to have an awesome freaking leg day workout with my friend Kendall, and it's gonna be so freaking awesome, and I'm gonna sweat a lot, and I'm just gonna love it. I'm gonna wear a cute outfit, and I'm gonna be feeling myself. But guess what? Come this weekend, it's my birthday weekend. My birthday's on Thursday, so the day you're listening to this, tomorrow is my birthday. I'll be 20 freaking 7. And I'm going to indulge in a lot of alcoholic beverages. I'm going to indulge in some waffles. I'm going to indulge in some tacos. Definitely going to eat some tacos. I'm going to indulge in a lot of things. Birthday cake, ice cream, you name it. And I'm not going to beat myself down because Monday morning, I'm going to turn it back around. And I'm not saying this is like a week-to-week thing, because I know last weekend I indulged and this weekend I indulged. It's my birthday month. I do that. But what I'm saying, you might be on your high horse for like 3 solid weeks. And then one day comes and you fall off of it. Guess what? Get back on it. It's okay. It's all good. You're going to be fine. My caffeine's really hitting in, and I feel like I'm just like, rah! You know what I mean? Hence, well, I probably lost all of you listening already. But it's fine. I have like half of my cold brew left, so anywho's, that is, oh my God, I just bashed my knee on my desk. You probably heard that. Oh God, that kind of hurt. But yeah, now I'm really rambling because of the coffee, but it's okay. It's all good. You're all gonna do great things. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Anyways, moving on. For the last segment of today, I wanted to leave you with 5 strong tips to being a happier person. Okay? Because there's so much negativity in the world right now. And there's so many people that are just ready to attack you. And, you know, the election's coming up. And I just feel like, I mean, the pandemic and with the George Floyd situation and just so much things. There's so much negativity, but there's also so much positivity in the world. And if you can radiate that, you can be a happier person. So these are my 5 tips with everything going on, how you can be a happier and healthier person. Tip number 1, use your voice. Your opinion matters. However you feel freaking matters, and radiate that. Because whatever you feel inside, that feeling makes you happy. Your voice makes you happy, so radiate it out to the world. Tip number 2, do things that make you happy. For me, it's working out. Even when I don't want to, when I'm done, those endorphins make me feel so powerful and so good that workout makes me happy. If knitting makes you happy, freaking do it. If going on a walk with your dog makes you happy, freaking do it. If just cuddling on the couch with your little pepperoni, 10 minutes in the morning makes you happy, freaking do it. Do what freaking fuels your fire. Tip number 3, hydration. I know, super random. Hydrate your body. Fill it with H2O. Fill it with good things, because when you're dehydrated, you're lethargic. Your brain's foggy. I'm so sorry I did not silence my cell phone. But staying hydrated just helps us so many things. Wow, can't talk. But your brain function, even just hydration will change your life. Hydrate your body. You'll understand once you do it. Tip number 4, taking mental breaks. You need it. Trust me on this one. I know I need to do it for myself. But taking mental breaks, whether it's at work, you need a 5-minute breather. I think I mentioned this on one episode that I do things at work called I'm taking a lap. And so if I need a breather, I literally tell them, I'm like, hey, I'm taking a lap. And I just walk fully around the gym and I'm back. And it literally takes like not even a minute, maybe 60 seconds, maybe 2 minutes if someone talks to me, and then I'm back. And taking a lap is like my mental break from whatever I'm doing. It just helps me. If I'm sitting in the staff lounge at work and I'm on my computer and I'm like, I need a lap, I just get up, I walk, I take a loop, and I'm back. And it just helps me. It helps me. If I'm at home and I'm grinding it out on my laptop and I'm frustrated and my brain feels foggy, I get up, I go play with my little pepperoni Max, and we cuddle and we play fetch, and then I'm like, oh, okay, back to work. Mental break from whatever you're doing. It could be a walk outside. It could be go sit on your balcony, enjoy the sun. It can be literally just shut your phone off because your phone's making you crazy. Walk a lap around your living room. I don't know. Go finally take the laundry basket to the laundry room. Whatever it is, mental break. Do it. I don't even know what number 1. I think that was number 4. And my 5th and final tip to being a happier mother freaking person is to get those freaking toxic people out of your damn life. I'm sorry. I had to say it. Toxic people can bring you down. And right now, with all the positive people coming together for Black Lives Matter and all the positivity radiating on my Instagram platform, is bringing it up and just so powerful. Whereas when I get on Facebook, it feels so toxic, and the negativity of people like fighting about the issue. I know I'm bringing back the Black Lives Matter thing we talked about in the beginning, but that's a huge, huge thing because I was feeling really down, and I felt like social media was really, really toxic in the beginning because it did feel that way until I educated myself. And for me, Facebook's kind of toxic for me right now, whereas Instagram's very positive and very uplifting. So I kind of like was like, wow, I can really see where different social platforms are crazy right now. Twitter is kind of an in-between for me. It can be very toxic. It can be very positive. But right now I'm just leaning towards Instagram with everything going on in the world. But that relates to real life. So friendships, relationships, who you're hanging out with can really make you a Debbie Downer. So surround yourself with positive and uplifting people, whether that's in your workplace or social events, like I said, with your friends, because if you're around Debbie Downers and toxic people, it's going to make you a Debbie Downer and you a toxic person. So identify those toxic feelings and relationships you have and distance yourself. I'm not saying go break up with your boyfriend or, your best friend of 16 years, deuce out, like, sorry, girl, we're not homies because you're a sad puppy. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is if you have a friend who just wants to get hammered all the time, and now you are, and now you feel like crap every day because you're getting drunk every night, maybe you need to distance yourself from that friend. Maybe see them once a month, not even, things like that. That was kind of an extreme, but maybe you have someone who's just a bad influence on you, and after you hang out with them, you're like, oh, I really don't feel myself. So for me, I have a friend that I love hanging out with, but if I hang out with them too often, I'll notice it. And so I'm like, I should have just been at home and done me today. I should have just gone and worked out by myself. And I notice those feelings and I'm like, but then I still go hang out with them the next day. Whereas now I've found a healthy pattern of hanging out with them where it's like I see them once, maybe twice a week. I'm good. And if I see them more than that, I just feel a little like, I don't know. I just don't get what I need to get done. They make me change my schedule sometimes because they want to do this and I really just want to do this. And finding a balance with your friendships and your relationships will also help with that. I hope that all kind of made sense, but just watch your toxic patterns and how it affects your mental state and your happiness. Now, if you're hanging out with someone all the time and they make you just so freaking happy and joy and you just radiate happiness and kindness, by all means, keep hanging out with them. But we all go through those life patterns of having those toxic friendships and relationships. So spotting those to change your feelings about yourself and your output on life are so, so important. So I'm going to leave the podcast on that note, and I hope this podcast was not so rambly because I feel like I was just like rah for the third time in the podcast, but I just felt like there's a lot of things I wanted to get off my chest. Again, I'll leave everything about Black Lives Matter down in the show notes, as well as I hope you took away some positive feedback on how to be a healthier, happier person and getting back on your stuff. All right, guys, same place next week, every motherfucking Wednesday. Toodles.